All right, welcome to First of the Big Ten, home of the Big Ten sports show. Starring me. It's really him, 614.
Leland, 5150.
Okay, baby, let's get into it.
Do it.
How was your weekend?
Mine? Have you ever had the greatest sports weekend ever, Robert Jones? The greatest sports weekend ever. Have you ever had one?
Yeah, actually.
No, he hasn't.
Because my Cleveland Indians, they did good. Also, my Miami Dolphins, my Miami Dolphins, they beat Pittsburgh this week. I'm a Dolphins fan. Go Dolphins, yeet!
Maybe 2 players off Miami.
Dan Marino is one. O.J. McDuffie.
Okay. Anyway.
Ryan Tannehill.
That's one.
Adamakin Sue, baby. Yeet! That's how you know I'm a fan, because it took me 2 seconds to name 2 players. I can't name 2 on each side of the ball, 1 on each. But my Dolphins won, my Indians won, my Buckeyes won. How about your weekend? How was your Colts? They're horrible.
I don't know if I can follow that. The Colts are horrible. They shouldn't have a football team anymore.
They shouldn't.
Really should. Last place in the worst division. But as a fan, the real fan,
That's
Cleveland
me.
Indians. 2-0.
Cleveland Indians, baby, let's go. Look, I'm a Cleveland Indians fan. You want to know how I know I'm a Cleveland Indians fan?
Well, 5 minutes.
Because I know that we play tonight in Toronto, Game 3. We're up 2-0. How would I know that if I'm not a fan?
Huh?
What's that?
Because I probably told you.
No.
Go Tribe!
Yeah, let's go.
Buckeyes.
Dolphins.
Won me a free sub from a guy I work with. If we're going to win one game, that's the right game to win. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about actual college football stuff.
Let's go.
Let's
You
get
asked
into
about
the
my
big-
weekend.
I thought you already told me about your weekend.
Oh, that's right. Let's go.
Oh, you want to talk your real weekend?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
it was miserable. Except for the Buckeyes, man. That's it.
All right.
That was it.
Gloomy. Something that wasn't gloomy was the Saturday night game between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Hey, that turned out to be a really good game, man.
A great game.
Hey, first thing first, let's give Wisconsin some credit. They've had one of the toughest
Absolutely.
schedules I've seen in a 6-week span. LSU, Michigan State, before they kind of fell off the wagon, we'll talk a little bit about them more later.
It's tough.
Ohio State and Michigan, that's a lot, man. And they only lost 2 games by 14 points.
I'm saying, when we went into the season,
So,
I looked at Wisconsin and was like, this team might be a better team than last year's 10-win
they for
team,
real.
but their schedule was so tough, I was like, it might not show it, and that's coming through.
they for real.
They got 2 losses, and they gave Michigan and Ohio State everything they can handle, top teams in this conference, which goes to show the West better watch out. Yeah, Nebraska might have a 2-game lead on them right now, but I don't see anybody right now that can handle that defense, and their offense seems to be getting better every week, but going up to Camp Randall, any Ohio State fan went into that game thinking it was going to be an easy game with
That's
all
the
these
thing,
weapons, which is true, but it's not easy to place to play.
Talking to some people, man. Listen,
They don't got
respect Wisconsin. You got to respect them person. Right. That's number 2 team and a number 3 team in the country by 7 points each. How can you not? They still top 10 for a reason. They lost 2 games and they still top 10. They're a solid team. I'm not sure how many teams in the Big Ten. I mean, not even the Big Ten, but in the country, are better than them, even with 2 losses. So that was a very, very, very quality win for the Buckeyes.
They earned it because definitely in the beginning they got dominated in the trenches. Wisconsin ran all over them. They exposed, or at least for that night, just dominated and did whatever they wanted. Jazz Peavy made some plays.
Was going crazy, man.
He did what he wanted. That took him a while to even figure that part out. And then when he broke out a great game and looked confident, he got sacked 4 or 5 times, but he felt comfortable all night with that crowd behind him. I mean, the Buckeyes looked bad for him for a while, but they came out in the second half, made some adjustments, made some plays finally, but Wisconsin made them earn it, and Buckeyes were definitely lucky to get out of that game with a win.
Jazz Peavy looked good. We talked about him earlier this season. We knew how much of a playmaker he was, but they couldn't stop that jet sweep, man. He was killing them with it, man.
He had 7 yards receiving, 76 rushing. Corey Clement had a heck of a day.
Yeah, what do you know?
164 yards rushing. He looked like with Corey Clement we thought coming into the season, coming off from being hurt last year. But
man, it's Hornibrook's
he had a great game. He handled this a lot better than he did
Michigan.
against Michigan. Being at home, you could tell a huge difference. And
like I say, both of those teams got great defensive lines, man. They were putting pressure on him. Michigan routed him a little bit more than the Buckeyes did because, first of all, Michigan's got a great defensive line, and he on the road. But he stayed poised in the pocket. He made some crazy throws, man. And hey, I'm just lucky we got the win, man.
You go in the game thinking there'd be over 800 yards offense in that game. I didn't think that would happen.
I actually thought it would be like that Michigan game. I thought it'd be maybe 21-14 or 7-10 or 13-10 or something like that. I didn't pick 30-23.
Game, man. But take your hat off to Wisconsin because they're definitely one of the best teams in this conference.
In the country.
2 losses.
In the country, man.
Yeah. They're top 10. They're still top 10 for a reason because people see how good they are. And they'll only continue to get better. And judging by if Nebraska can lose a game, other than the game against Wisconsin, their goals are still there. Big Ten championship game.
Who Nebraska got left in the Big Ten, though? Do they play Ohio State or Michigan?
They got Ohio State.
That's one loss.
And the horseshoe. And if they're to lose that game,
then
Wisconsin controls their own destiny.
Yeah.
If you look at the rest of the Big Ten West, maybe Northwestern's found their offense. They could score some, but I don't see any of these other teams. They're going to struggle to move the ball at all in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's offense is only getting better. So.
Yeah, now imagine if Tony Brook would have started from the beginning of the season, where he'd be at this point of the season, man. They might have beat Ohio State.
It's hard to say because Bart Houston did play well against the LSU and they won that game, but maybe he wouldn't have been ready at that point. But he is a true freshman, but right now he's definitely the quarterback, and it was just a great game on Saturday night.
Yeah, what other game? Who else played? Let's talk about Maryland and Minnesota. Let's get into that a little bit.
I picked Maryland. I was wrong. Minnesota dominated that game.
Minnesota, yay! Amber Hamilton, shout out to you because I had a good deep conversation with her because her birthday was this weekend. She turned 27. My beautiful sister-in-law.
He was back on the bandwagon.
No, you seen the fan that called in? That was my boy. What was his name?
Tony. Familiar.
Yeah, Anthony Dungy. That's my dude. He gave me a call.
Real name.
So we talked about it. I got back on the right ship. I'm on the right boat.
It was the right
I'm back where I need to be.
Because they got a 21-point victory. And even without Mitch Leitner, who was out with concussion, Connor Rhoda came in and managed the game. But when you got Slash and Bash running like they were running, that's all you really need because Maryland had to start their own true freshman quarterback. He played okay. He did what he could, but he didn't get as much out of the running game as Minnesota did.
It was more about Minnesota's defense because Maryland didn't score until the fourth quarter. They scored their 10 points in the fourth, so they shut them out for 3 quarters.
Well, they did a great job on it. Harrison and Johnson from Maryland just shut their running game down, and Minnesota was able to play, didn't turn the ball over that much, ran the ball really well, and managed the game.
And Maryland's starting to fall off the boat a little bit, but
we're starting to find out what Maryland actually is now. After that good start, not playing, we weren't sure about them.
Yeah, now they
get losses later.
Yeah,
they're towards the bottom of the Big Ten East for sure. Yeah. But it was a good win for Minnesota, bouncing back.
Speaking at the bottom of the Big Ten East, man, what's up with Michigan State, man? Again, they lose again. We thought it wasn't possible for them to lose again. It was like, man, this is Michigan State, the rich tradition, the history, the reigning Big Ten champs, one of the best coaches in the country. And they lose again, 54-40 to Northwestern. First of all, this defense gave up 54 points to Northwestern. No disrespect to Northwestern, but
this is a team who struggled to score points at all in the beginning of the season.
Now they're getting 54 points.
51 yards rushing. They still can't run the ball. They didn't start Tyler O'Connor, thinking he's the problem, but
he came out and working. He played solid, but it just wasn't enough.
Not the problem, I think. You just can't run the ball, and when you can't run the ball, what else are you going to do? Their offense probably from here on out just going to be throw the ball around and try to score points because they can't run the ball consistently.
2.2 yards a carry. They had 51 rushing yards.
It's hard for me to believe. Last year they struggled to run the ball, but they had some injuries on the offensive line. This year, it's the same exact thing. They can't, and if you can't run the ball, you're going 3 and out. You're not moving the ball. You're putting your defense on the field, and I think maybe it's starting to catch up to them. The defense don't have confidence in the offense, even though the offense did score this game, but now the defense isn't stopping anybody. So it's like Michigan State's in trouble. That's 4 straight losses, and we're in the middle of October. They haven't played Michigan. They haven't played Ohio State
at all.
It's not going to get any easier. They're going to struggle right now to even make a bowl game because that's 2 more losses. That'll put them at 6 losses because I don't see them beating Michigan or Ohio State.
No.
And especially Michigan and Ohio State are coming into this game wanting revenge. That's even going to make it worse. They better find another take care of business in the rest of the games.
Michigan State
one more
might not be
loss.
bowl eligible.
Michigan State playoff team last year, not even making a bowl game this
How
year.
do you go from the Big Ten champion to not making the bowl game?
I understand losing players, but he's recruiting better than he ever has before. It's,
Right.
it's something else. I mean, I know they're young at spots, but to be this bad, it's remarkable.
It looks like they don't have any pride or whatsoever, man. The way they're
They don't
playing.
have that nasty chip on their shoulder,
Yeah.
especially on defense that we've grown to see them. They come in, they intimidate people. Right now, they're not intimidating anybody, and you can tell they don't have confidence in each other.
It's
And it's
embarrassing
just
to watch,
getting
man.
worse and worse, and I don't see how it's going to get any better going down.
LJ Scott
Right.
had 3 carries for 25 yards. One of his carries was 23 yards. That means he had 2 other carries, 1 yard apiece. Man,
They
that's
don't
gonna get
have
it done, man.
confidence in the running game. They don't have no rhythm to what they're doing. They're so used to not being able to run the ball. If they have a series here where they're not able to run the ball, then they abandon it. Which part of I understand because it hasn't been a consistent part,
Right.
but you have to attempt.
And now
If
it's
you just
like
pitch it around.
now they're getting to a
Not
part where they're
gonna
just throwing around quarterbacks and interchanging them. Because like, look, Ryan
That's not
Lewerke
the
had
problem.
he went 12 for 19, 99 yards. Then you bring in Tyler O'Connor. He throws for what,
Yeah.
281 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's always like,
The quarterback's not the problem. Lee
Right.
O'Connor, he's not the problem. Get the receivers, maybe they'll mature more, the
Right.
young boys. But until you can run the ball consistently, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
but you can't pull
You
one
got to
of
put
them.
O'Connor in there because he's your best chance to
But
win.
you can't
have to.
pull him.
No.
And
That
then
just shows
bring
me
him
that
back
they
in
don't
the
know
same game you pull him.
They have no idea what's going on. That's what shows me. When you pull O'Connor out, they can put a new quarterback in there's going to change it. Obviously, that's not the problem. They don't have any answers right now, and you can tell with 4 straight losses. Michigan State's in trouble. They're going to struggle to even make a bowl game, and I would never have said that at the
Man.
beginning of the year. I can't even believe that.
Especially like their schedule one that's grueling as a Wisconsin schedule. So you're like, man, they can at least get 9,
Penn State,
10.
all these teams are going to be ahead of them.
Right.
And Indiana's already beat them. So.
I mean, whoever thought Michigan State would only be ahead of Maryland and Rutgers? That's
Not to say they can't get it back on track, but
At this
this
point-
year,
at
it's
this
a train
point,
wreck.
right.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to stop right there. Take us a little break. Get you some popcorn, some nachos. What else they need? Lemonade, iced tea. You seen that commercial?
I have, but
I like
nachos and popcorn, that don't sound like good together.
I ain't got nothing
Or
else.
you could buy some Boy Scout popcorn. My boys are selling it. Goes to a good cause.
Some
Good
t-shirts.
popcorn.
Yeah.
That too.
So
Maybe we should start selling stuff and provide money for t-shirts.
nobody likes us. I don't like you, probably.
I don't like selling stuff.
All right, take a quick break. We'll be right back. First in the Big Ten.
Second down, Scott again. And Scott fumbles the football. Ball loose, and it's Musso who's got it. Musso with a spin. Musso with blockers, and he's got a touchdown.
63-yard fumble return for 6.
We
just saw the running back in Musso come out. 63-yard fumble return.
All right, welcome back. Second half. The greatest host.
Woo! Nature boy.
Don't interrupt me. That's
Sorry.
That's childish.
Excited he was on College Game Day. Had to bring a little
Oh, he
Nature
was,
Boy
wasn't he?
Ric Flair. Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
Ric Flair was on there, hating on my Buckeyes. How'd that go for you, Ric Flair? All right.
As good as going to the Michigan recruiting game, saying how he didn't like Ohio State or Michigan State,
Right.
which surprises me because I respected the man. But one thing he said was, to be the man, you got to beat the man. But he says Michigan's the man. I don't understand that. I mean, they don't have to beat Ohio State or Michigan State to be the man.
Not if you're Ric Flair, because he also
Apparently
said
not.
it's getting kind of hard holding these Gators down. You know what I'm saying? Not sure what that has to do with this, but I just love when he says that.
Two-time Hall of Famer, you got to respect the man.
Gotta love Ric Flair, man. Shout out to Ric Flair. Ric Flair, if you want to come on the show, let us know. I'll ask my wife if I can have company, and we'll try to schedule you in. So
As long as we don't have to ride Space Mountain to get him on here, we're all for it. Come on down.
hey, if we have to, we'll do it.
I'm lying.
If we have
We get
the opportunity
we
party
get the
with Ric
16
Flair.
times world champion. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'll quit my job to party one night with Ric Flair, even though I don't do any drugs or any drinking or
Well,
anything.
literally, you'll never be able to go back to work after that one night with the Nature Boys. So
Right.
you might as well just quit now because you ain't gonna be the same.
There it is. All right, what we gonna get into in the second half, Lee Loke?
Okay, we'll go back to football. Enjoying the rest
Let's
of
get
the
it, Lee Harvey Oswald.
What about my Iowa Hawkeyes? Getting a victory.
finally.
Beat Purdue.
It looked
Got
good.
Darryl Hazel fired.
Should have been fired.
Yeah. Just like I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I mean, they can go like Western Michigan. They got upstart.
Right.
They're doing great, but I don't know if he's gonna want that job after this way Darryl Hazel struggled. It's just I don't know how much Purdue and their administration puts into wanting to win. So,
It's
I
like
mean,
it's like they get better,
you
but
can
they
win
get worse.
there, but right now, yeah, it's like they're in the gutter and they can't get out. But you can win at Purdue. It's been done before. At least be competitive. And right now, they're just not. But I will say this year, even they were 3-2 going into the game. Now they're 3-3. They showed signs of being better than what they had
Right.
the last couple of years. Their offense has definitely
The
been
offense
better.
is there though.
I mean, David Lockett for 458 yards,
Five
5 touchdowns. I mean, they're showing parts of progressing offensively. They
The
couldn't
thing
run the
is,
ball.
he
But
threw-
they didn't have any of this last
He
year.
completed 30 passes, but he also incompleted 30 passes. And that's kind of part of the problem too. You got to be a little bit more accurate than that.
Yeah, but 450 yards would be like 3 weeks passing last year
Yeah.
for Purdue. So, I mean, they're showing signs, but I understand it. It's not like it's the second year. He's been there for a few years now, so I understand it. It's not, but to me, they're showing some progress. They're sitting
certain
here at 3
areas,
wins. I mean,
I don't know.
you
What,
gotta take what you can.
you
take
got to
out.
figure out what was their expectations at this point too.
They
Like
couldn't have been any better than what they're all right now.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I don't get sometimes. They fire these guys,
I don't know.
but it's like, what were you expecting? You were really expecting them to come in 3 or 4 years and be one of the most dominant recruiting classes with a great defense and a great offense when you've been struggling for the last decade
Yeah.
anyway.
And I'm not sitting here saying
St. Drew Brees
he's
there.
done anything to keep the job. I mean, you're 9-33, but
Yeah.
I'll say if you're going to fire him, I mean, I would have liked to see a little less out of him this year if you're going to fire him. But
Don't do it
they
half
did
a game
show
a season.
some positive things this season. They had some turnover issues, or they would have been in some other games. But as far as Iowa, you know, we got a lot of Iowa this week that we thought we'd see more this year. Wadley and
Yeah.
Daniels
Oh,
just
they
going
back,
off.
man.
They had a heck of a game, 170 yards, 156 yards. Riley McCarron, he had a good game, but he looks like he might be the Vandenberg replacing his shoes as much as he can, but you're still not getting nothing out of anybody else.
Right.
He's not the deep threat, but he's got to make all the plays. Shield, Smith, they're like here for one play and then invisible.
But
So you
it-
get that deep threat. Beathard can't be what we want Beathard to be.
But it has to be, if
Quarterback.
they're going to have success, it has to be like this. It has to be with Wiley and Daniels, man. Like, they
Yeah.
have to be able to get those big
It's
runs.
the only thing you can depend on. You got to stick with it.
Wiley breaks that big 75-yard run for a touchdown, which kind of, that's what they need. They need those
Yeah.
explosive plays from the running game, man. They gotta balance it out with the
Because
passing.
they can't stretch the field vertically. So I mean,
Nah, they can't. They
They
gotta
don't
be able
have
to run
the
the ball.
consistency,
That's what
but-
they did. So
they have to win. We'll see where it goes from here. They got some tough games coming up down the road.
yeah,
With, Nebraska and Wisconsin and Michigan.
I mean, what's Iowa's record now? 4-2. 5. What is
On the
it?
record off the top of my head.
Yeah, 4-2, 5-2, somewhere around there. But it's like they're not as bad as it seems record wise, but they're very inconsistent though, man. They got to consistently be able to run the ball like they did this week. And I'm
Seems
not
like
saying
they almost play better on the road than they
Right.
do at home, which makes no sense. But
I guess when
they got time to turn. I mean, everything they
Rock
want, they
stars,
got
man.
time to turn it around. Especially if Wadley and Daniels can run like they did. But you're not playing Purdue every week, so
Hey, shout out to Iowa. Schedule Purdue every week, and you should be able to get 300 rushing yards.
until Les Miles goes to Purdue, then you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
But you ain't got to worry about throwing the ball because he still ain't gonna be able to do that.
You think he's gonna go to Purdue though?
No, I don't.
Me either.
I'll go to Purdue.
All right, man. Let's get into what we do last week, man. How did we go?
But real quick shout out to Illinois getting a win.
Oh, that's right. Illinois did beat Rutgers, but Rutgers didn't score again. They didn't score to the fourth quarter either. A lot of these
But they
teams
did
get
have
shut
some.
out,
They
man.
did have some yards, which is a plus. That's something they haven't been able to get the last 2 weeks. But
Illinois' defense stepped up, kept them out of the end zone, kept them off the
yeah,
scoreboard.
forced 5
to the fourth.
turnovers,
Hey,
pick 6. Good win for Illinois. Anytime you can get a win, a Big Ten win, especially if you're Lovie Smith in his first year, you
This
got to
year.
win the games you're supposed to win,
it's gonna be a
and
tough season, man.
they're doing that at least. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think we ain't forgetting nobody else, did we? Nah, we covered everybody else. We're trying to ignore the fact that how I got more games right than him last week.
I don't remember last week.
Minnesota over Maryland. Okay.
I gave you that
right.
one.
Purdue.
When did you get your Minnesota fandom back?
Purdue at Iowa. I barely got that one wrong. We only lost by 14, so.
So that was barely losing by 14?
Yeah. We both picked Illinois, Nebraska, and Indiana. Hey, he picked Indiana because he obviously doesn't know anything about football.
I took a chance, okay? I like how Indiana play. Hey, I mean, they played their butt off in that game. I mean, they went down 17-0 against Nebraska. They dominated second and third quarter.
27-22?
And if it wasn't for that, Morgan had that one 72-yard touchdown when the Indiana guys ran into each other. If it wasn't for some plays, Newbie fumbled, but they ended up getting to keep the ball. That was a close game. Indiana gave them everything they could handle. It was a great game.
Because Armstrong started going back to his old self with those turnovers and
2
trying to force
picks.
stuff, man.
He was Armstrong. We said he can't be this year if they want to win. And they're lucky to get out of that game because they didn't get the dominant running performance from Newbie. And you can't turn the ball over. We know that they don't have a lot of room for error. They got to play their game and be turnover free, or you're not beating Wisconsin or some of these other teams.
But they did a good job of shutting down Devon Reddy, So
yeah, the defense played well.
McGo, he had 2 interceptions. He didn't play too good at all. So I mean, shout out to Nebraska's defense, but you got the W.
You're winning.
They got the
all
W.
you got to do is win. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. You're a top 10 team now. You continue to win. So all you can do is win your game. They control their destiny. Right now, they got a 2-game lead on everybody in that conference.
Undefeated is undefeated.
Yeah. Everyone's got to come back up to you. Right now, you got a nice lead in the Big Ten West, and you got the Big Ten championship game in your sights. So we'll see what they can do from here.
We both picked Michigan State because we thought Michigan State would have more respect for themselves, and they obviously don't.
We definitely thought it'd be, almost 100 points scored.
Not with the majority of them being from Northwestern.
No, I didn't see it from either. I didn't even see them scoring 40, really.
We both picked Ohio State, so I won one more game.
It was a nail biter, that's for sure. So a lot of range of emotions in that game from the beginning to end.
We got this week: Rutgers, Minnesota,
Week 8,
Wisconsin,
Big
Iowa.
Ten football.
I forgot that we still got 4 ranked teams, even though Wisconsin lost. So,
and I'm glad to see that because nothing they did in them 2 games shows that they're not capable of being a top 10 team. So I'm glad they didn't drop them back really far.
Right.
The
Big Ten so far is the best conference. Not because we live here, because they got 4 top 10 teams. 2 weeks in a row.
At the top. As a whole, I wouldn't say that, but the top right now, they can go toe-to-toe with anybody.
That's all that matters. If Alabama wins another title and the rest of the SEC
Alabama
sucks.
And everybody else in the SEC.
But it's still SEC.
A&M playing them, but
I think they'll give them a good. That's the thing. Everybody's been giving Alabama a good half. You got to put together a whole game against them.
Or they don't have a lot of weaknesses. The one thing I like to pull Wisconsin not dropping back really far.
They should.
Then you got like a team like West Virginia or somebody who's undefeated, and they got to stay behind all these other 2-loss teams who really haven't did anything to make up that gap. So I think you at least got to start moving. As West Virginia wins, they got to move up. I think so.
But that's the thing, though. Are you going by record-wise, or are you going by who potentially is the better team? Like, even though they haven't played each other, West Virginia and Wisconsin don't play. But it's like, at this point, who is the better team? Do you rank them by record or just by they lost to the number 2 team and the number 3 team?
No, I'm not saying as far as Wisconsin. I'm just tired of a lot of these other teams ahead of
them. Oh, okay.
Wisconsin, I'm fine with, like having like Tennessee and some of these other teams. Oklahoma.
Tennessee lost by 39.
And they're still. Alabama, I think they're still ahead of West Virginia.
Yeah, they should be out of it.
But there's some good things I've seen from the Pulsers this year that I've liked. They're able to move teams up more after the beginning of the season, and they're not dropping teams off the map even if they lose one game.
They're giving respect to some of these other teams like Houston and Western Michigan and teams like that.
They need some Western Michigan dominate people.
I mean, they're getting their respect though. They're winning. They're ranked. It's not to where we want it to be yet. Can't have a team that's undefeated behind teams that got 2 losses unless it's like a team like Wisconsin.
It's not a perfect system, and you saw them teams. It's never going to be perfect because they're not all going to play equal schedules, so it's impossible unless they did like a third party that made the schedules. But
so we got this. We've got Ohio State going to Penn State.
Another night game for the Buckeyes.
On the road.
Crazy atmosphere. And another team with a bye week before they play the Buckeyes.
No, they're saying the Buckeyes.
Penn State's going into this game playing their best football. Saquon Barkley's running well. McSorley's playing well. The defense coming off one of their best, probably their best performance of the year.
Man, they ain't gonna beat the Buckeyes.
They may not beat the Buckeyes, but I
I'm
don't
going
know
Ohio
what the
State.
point spread is, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think, just because of the atmosphere. But
So who you going with? Ohio State?
I'm going with Ohio State, but
Yeah,
hopefully their passing game can get it together, because right now they're struggling.
Michigan State at Maryland, two bum teams who've been
Both of
disappointing
them
me.
need to win.
I'm going Maryland. They're at home. I'm going Maryland.
We gotta say, Michigan State can't lose 5 in a row, can they?
Yeah, they can. They terrible.
I'm going, if they give Tyler O'Connor, him just pitching the ball around will be enough to beat
But we
Maryland.
don't even know who started. It's probably gonna be like
It's going to be
last week.
O'Connor.
We'll see.
I talked to D'Antoni. I sent him a tweet. He didn't answer back, but I'm pretty sure it's O'Connor.
We probably should go to that game because I'm pretty sure tickets are probably like $11 each for like 50-yard line because both these teams are there. Oh, damn, it's in Maryland. We ain't going there. If it was in East Lansing, we go. Who you going with? Michigan State?
Yes.
What's the pick? Purdue, Nebraska. I'm gonna take Nebraska.
I don't know. Purdue's coach is going to be the interim coach. It's
Probably
definitely
not
going to be
us.
Nebraska.
I'm trying to follow my picks.
And if Purdue wins, then they'll blame everything on Darryl.
Michigan, Illinois. Illinois, you don't have a chance.
Illinois is going to struggle with even. Right now, they can't throw the ball, and they're not going to be able to run the ball against Michigan.
You think Illinois will get 10 points?
No. Their strength with their quarterback they have right now is just running, and that's something you're not going to do against Michigan. You write that there, I'm going to punch you in the eye.
Yeah, less than 10. I'm gonna go with that. Indiana, Northwestern. That's gonna be a good game.
That's a tough game.
Hey,
I like Indiana's defense. I'm liking Northwestern's offense right now.
I'm liking Indiana's offense too.
It's tough. It's
My
on the
nephew
road.
Ricky Jones, baby.
Northwestern's playing. Both teams are playing really good right now.
I'm gonna go Indiana.
I'm gonna go Northwestern because they're at home, but I think if it was in Bloomington, I'd go with Indiana.
Iowa, you don't have a chance against Wisconsin. I'm going with
I'm
Wisconsin.
going with Iowa. All right, I'm going with Wisconsin.
Hey, I'm about to say, man.
Iowa's playing better, but if Iowa when it gets back in that Big Ten West race,
They
they gotta
won't be
win
able.
this game.
They won't be able to run the ball like they did last week against
They're gonna struggle to
Wisconsin.
run.
They're gonna be forced to pass. I don't think they got enough
throw
weapons.
Wisconsin. No.
They don't have enough weapons. Minnesota Rutgers. Minnesota, baby. Amber
Big
Hamilton,
Minnesota.
27. Happy
By
birthday,
big.
girl.
Big win. They can run the ball.
Who you picking, Rutgers?
No. Was your team at one point? You off that bandwagon?
I ain't never liked Rutgers. I don't even know where Rutgers is located.
Did a halftime show on. We don't like it anymore.
That was one half.
It's
5
true.
weeks ago.
We don't even bring up old stuff.
All right, so we're gonna keep track. I won last week. You owe me something. We need to start keeping track of this because I'm a better picker than you. So
Oh, I do got a knuckle sandwich with your name on it. How about a karate chop to the throat, blood sport style? Here.
take some
I'll give you a
nachos.
nice shiny helmet.
Get that out of here.
Here's a pen.
There it is.
Draw a picture.
This is the winning pen. So from PHA Home Loans. If you want to get a home loan, call PHA Loans.
Yes. Can't guarantee anything, but
Hopefully your credit's good enough to get a loan. You can't guarantee they'll approve you. Only qualified people give them a call.
get a loan, this guy will sell you the house.
I actually will. I'm a real estate agent with Caldwell Banker. Give me a call. I can help you find a home in Columbus, Ohio. Or I can rent out my garage if you want to.
Nice garage.
One car. The car actually is going to stay inside of there, so I'm really not sure where you're going to sleep. So yeah, that's about all the time we got for this week.
Right.
Another good week. Go Big
It was a
Ten.
great week.
Four
8 o'clock
ranked
tonight,
teams.
Monday night. Tribe. Going to
My
Toronto.
Cleveland Indians play. Man, you don't even like them.
ALCS, baby.
How about a hat?
No, it's my lucky hat.
Gotta get me a hat. I actually got a shirt somewhere because remember we went to the game earlier.
Don't worry. If you wear that shirt and they lose, I'm blaming you for
I'm
everything.
gonna find my Indian shirt. 'Cause I did go to a game this year.
You did, and what happened?
Yeah, they lost. Who they lose to? Baltimore. Yep. Shout out to Baltimore
Don't wear a
Orioles.
shirt. Don't go to the Indians game. We'll continue to win. The World Series, only a couple wins away. Good drive.
You gonna win?
I don't know if we're going to win tonight because Bauer cut his finger working on his drone, but he's going to fight through it. But I think they're going to lose tonight and win tomorrow.
It's really him 614.
Then 51-50, first of the Big Ten. Go Tribe.
Lucky pen, baby. Nah, wrong way.
Yeah, brother.
It's my brother.